not to
So, good morning. So, I'm Pat, and here in Singapore today with my dear friend Tony.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Tony, who we made get up very early today for this interview.
Yes.
So, sorry, Tony.
No worries. Anything for Max.
yes. And really looking forward to talking about our story together, I think.
Yep.
So how old were you when you were diagnosed with CML?
So I was 26 when I found out I had
26.
CML. So that's 9 years ago.
Right.
It's gonna be 10 next year.
Wow.
It's at a very interesting junction of my life as well. At that time I was doing IT and selling IT and services and products, and I decided to be a musician.
Right.
So 3 months after being a musician, I found out I have CML. Right at that, something, wow, I have one thing to deal with, which is my career that I have left behind, starting a new one. And now I have this thing that I cannot control at all. Right? It's something that I didn't sign up for, it's something that I didn't even plan to have. And suddenly now I have this thing to also look into. So it was quite a challenging time.
Right.
But it shaped me to be who I am now, more resilient, I
Right.
suppose. Yeah.
So you were 26 years old and just decided to become a musician. And then I read that the first sign that you had that something was wrong, you were in this you were climbing a mountain or something.
Yeah.
And tell me about that.
The school I was working in as a teacher, music teacher, said, "Hey, you're going to climb Mount Kinabalu, you want to come?" I'm like, "Yes, I've been doing, gym, I've been playing football, should be easy, right? Yes, sign me up." And then started climbing the mount. And this Mount Kinabalu is the highest peak in Southeast Asia. Wow. It's 4.8 kilometers high.
Wow.
4,800 meters.
It's in Malaysia?
It's in Malaysia. It's on the east side of Malaysia in a land called Sabah, in a town called Kinabalu. So it's Mount Kinabalu, right? So it's not an easy climb. So you need to climb for 5 to 8 hours for the first half of it. Sleep in the camp, the first station, and then in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, you climb up another 2 hours to the peak to see the sunrise, and then immediately you have to come back down.
Wow.
So you start off 8 a.m. in the morning. You finish the next day about 1 p.m. the next day.
Right.
The whole climb, right? When we started off, I was feeling fine, but then when I realized very fast that something is wrong with my body, because I cannot climb, even though I feel like I can climb, but my body is telling me otherwise. No, my legs have to give out.
Wow.
So I was getting feeling very, hey, I'm not even up there. I'm not feeling any, altitude sickness or anything. Why am I having this, right? But I pushed on. Instead of taking 5 to 8 hours, it took me 12 hours to reach the first point.
Wow.
And I was one of the second last guy to reach. And it was very dark. The moment I saw the camp, I was crying. I said, "God, something's wrong with my body. What's wrong?
Wow.
This is not,
It's not okay.
And then the guide said, "I think you better not climb all the way." I said, "Yeah, I agree with you."
Right.
So I failed the climb. So when I came back to KL, I immediately that Monday I went to a doctor. I thought something's wrong with my lungs, so I went to an ENT specialist, ear, nose, throat specialist. The doctor checked everything. He checked everything, my ears, my nose. He said, "I don't see anything wrong, but let me just take your blood test. I'll just take a blood and we'll see." And I went there immediately. I met Dr. Haris for the first time, Dr. Haris Rahman, and he was very, very nice gentleman. He brought us into a room. Okay, he sat down.
Still with your mom?
Yeah, still with my mom, and he straight away said, "Okay, I'm not gonna go around the bush." And this is his exact words. "I'm not gonna go around the bush, but you have what we call CML, or chronic myeloid leukemia." The moment that was said, my mom immediately broke down crying. Right? But my my exact response was, "That's what God meant."
What?
So how that story came about is that years before that, when I was 17 years old, I was in church, and I was praying, and my pastor called me up. "Tony, come in front." So he said, "Put out your hands." And I said, "Okay." I put out my hands and I closed my eyes. He said, "I see you climbing a mountain, but you're only halfway there." The moment he said that, in my mind, I was thinking, "Oh man, normally the second half is tougher." How I knew that, I don't know. I never climbed a mountain, but I had that same exact thought. But God says continue climbing, and when you reach the top, you'll see God's sun and will shine upon you, and His rain will pour down on you. So the moment Dr. Hari said, you have what we call CML, immediately I understood that moment. That's what God meant. That, one day I'm going to climb a mountain, and I'm going to be on the first climb, and you're going to hear this devastating news about yourself. But I'm telling you, continue climbing. And because of that, I was able to not feel bad or sad about it. I felt like, wow, this is something predestined a long time ago. And because of that, I think it really gives me the strength to say, wow, okay, thanks. I'll take up this challenge.
How did you get to know about the Max Foundation?
So in that talk that I had with Dr. Harris, he said, interestingly, he said this. I still remember that conversation. He said, but don't worry, if you want to get leukemia, this is the type of leukemia you want to get.
Okay. He said, I did not want to get leukemia, right?
Yeah. He said there's medicine that's already that's very, very specific for this type of leukemia. And the thing is, this medicine is very, very expensive. But there's this foundation called the Max Foundation. Through them, then it will be at no cost for you. I was like, yeah, sign me up. Of course, So I was so happy. My mom also was so glad to find that out. And then immediately he told us about the Max Family. Max Family is a community group that has similar people that goes through this, and they encourage one another, and will sign you up. And I was feeling like, yes, I want to meet other people who goes through this. I want to find out what is their story, right? How are they coping with it? Because I need that, right? Because the moment when someone tells you something devastating like that, even though there might be family members around you, but it's one of the most loneliest feeling ever, because suddenly you feel like I'm alone in this.
Right.
Who else understands what I'm going through, right? So the moment he said there's Max Family, I felt like, oh my gosh, somebody else felt the same way I did previously. Right. So I want to meet these people. And immediately I really, really want to meet. So Dr. Aris told us about the Max Foundation, the Max Family as well.
Yeah. On that first meeting?
Yes.
So can I ask you about the song You?
Yes, of course.
How did that come?
So when I found out that I have CML and I'm getting liver at no cost thanks to the Max Foundation, I heard the story about Max, about how he fought and how he fought to the end, and and how you supported, and because of that you started the Max Foundation, and I was very, very amazed. I was very, very grateful for what you did, for what the Max Foundation did, for what the Max Family did. I decided I want to write a song, a grateful song, and it's also a song that for what God did in my life, right? He predestined this whole mountain climbing thing, and because of that, I'm not really fearful of death because I was kind of prepared for it. So I wanted to write a song about that. So I came out with this song, and I first sang it in the first meeting, not the first one, the second one that I had with Max Family. Sang it for the first time. I remember I had my lyrics there, and I was playing guitar, and I had no title for the song yet, right? So I said, this is a song, I have no title yet, but this is a song for Max, for Pat, and for the Max Foundation and the Max Family. I think for us, the CML patients, in this moment that's very, very dark, you shine bright. And because of that, it's easy for people to find you. And because of that, we appreciate the light that's coming from you, right? So we grab onto it, like, thank you so much, we're in this storm, but we see this lighthouse shining towards us, and we're going there, and we will feel so safe. And normally we actually arrive there safely. So that's why all this love, you feel it back, because you see all these little ships docking near your harbor.
I know it's not just me, right? Yeah. So I feel I'm what people see and what people love, but I know behind me there's a lot of other people that are part of this, right? Yeah. So I do a little part. Yeah. I feel a very big obligation all the time to make sure I pass on the love and the appreciation to people, like, especially people at Novartis that work so hard to make sure that the medicine gets to patients.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I've learned through all this journey is to be able to be a vehicle to spread the love. The key is not to just keep it to yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's just to give it back to the world.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think that's one of the most amazing things about this whole journey. Thank you, Tony.
It's all because of you. I could face another day. I could face another